excuses. I'm gonna just do a better job with just trying to be more credible, keep some integrity. You know what I'm saying? I did say in the past that, sometimes you gotta sacrifice some integrity and some morals to get views on YouTube. And I did say in the past that sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for views, do whatever you gotta do to get views. And part of that's still true, bro. Sometimes yeah, sometimes you gotta look crazy to stay relevant. You know what I'm saying? And me, how I took it was, how what I was doing was like sharing things that I knew people would click on, even though it made me look crazy. But I can't do that anymore because it could give people a negative view of me. I'm sorry. But I do got 2 jobs now. That's not a lie. It's true. Okay? Doing pizza delivery and then Amazon delivery. Right? Amazon delivery 4 days a week, pizza delivery like a few days a week. Okay? So it's true. So come on, bro. I know, like I said, I know I said I worked jobs in the past and end up leaving and quitting. So I can see how y'all cannot believe that. So, but it's true. Okay? It's true. And I'm sticking out, especially just so because I know I'm rebuilding my YouTube channel, rebranding my channel. That's why I decided to work 2 jobs so I can make sure my income stay good even while I'm trying to rebuild my channel and rebrand my channel and things like that.
What's up, y'all? It's the Veil. And if you guys don't know, um, I've been doing YouTube for a minute. You guys might have known me from channel. If not, I've been done this before. But today I'm making a video on Dontay London. Roughly right now I got about 73,000 subs, and he's into this YouTube world, putting himself in front of people's TV screens and cell phones, and I'm gonna talk about a few things, some good, some bad. I believe that he's on the way to getting a plaque as well. Um, there's just some things to critique and some things that he is doing well. Um, and before I even start this video, I don't want y'all to make it seem like, I don't know, he said he watches the reactions. I don't want to make it seem like I'm provoking fear. And I know a lot of people will say that, and then after that, they'll go and start saying fearful things. But I do want to give some reality checks just off of what I'm seeing in his content. I've been watching this dude probably for the past, since the beginning of this year in January. Um, my grandfather had passed away, and I was just in the house. It was a cold winter. I left Charlotte, North Carolina for a few months, came here to Columbus, Ohio, which is where I'm from. I believe he's out in Michigan. And, by the way, I'm not sending no hate if you're a Michigan fan. Hey, it's all love, man. Like, straight up. But, you know, caught this dude at a time where literally I caught him and then he started blowing up. Like, I never seen me watch somebody and then like a few weeks later I'm seeing them like get hella views. And this dude was cool. I think Dontay is a different YouTuber. Like, he's sharing like how much money he's made for the month. He's showing you his business decisions. He's showing you where like how he's living, all this. I didn't be honest with you. I've never seen a channel like this. I'm 27 years old. I believe he's 27 years old too. Um, my blew up happened around when I was like 21, 22, and things changed for sure. And I haven't seen that channel. I believe that channel's still doing fine, but I'm here to tell you kind of where I think reality kind of kicked in. So I'm gonna get to it, right? So let's get to it. So yeah, I'm from Columbus, 27, bro. Done YouTube, and I'm basically just kind of making this reaction to kind of critique some things and also give him some W's on where he's going right. Let's start with the W's. I feel like that thumbnails are clear. I feel like his titlings are good. Um, I like the way that he has kind of built it out of nothing. You know, I don't think that when I look at it, he didn't have much to work with, and he kind of just started throwing stuff out there. And as you guys saw in the clip, he talked about like how he would just do things because it would get views, and that's usually typically what people will do when they're that hungry. But it's a bad mindset. We've seen Gideon do it. He blew up, had millions of views, and then he had a rebirth, a revelation of what he was doing on that spiritual level that made him turn lanes. Uh, you know, because people just want to get on, and I get it, right? Like you come from nothing. Anybody in the Midwest, I don't think you know what it's like. Like you want to literally make something of yourself, and you know, I think that that's what I see, right? Um, good titles, good thumbnails. Um, he kind of strings out the meaning of the video. I think he cliffhangs too long. Like you want to cliffhang, but you want to get to the point where a person's skipping the video. I've done that where I'm like going ahead, at least with that video, right? It took him almost half of the video just to get into what was going on. And didn't really, you know, say too much. Um, let's talk about that. Do I think that his thumbnails, do I think that his titles could be a little bit better? Yes. I think that when I hear how he talks about the mindset. He's always talking about like my mindset. My mindset is like, I'm looking for my audience. When I've been around big YouTubers, right? Like I've been around YouTubers with millions of subs, 8 million, 10 million. You guys probably know. And when I talk to them, they always talk about how they're always making content for people who have never been there. You know, like I want to make videos for somebody who's never seen me before, but I'm also doing it in the realm of an audience where it's still like I've made a niche or a brand for my channel. Like there's nothing wrong with that. This guy on the video talked about how the way he's going, he might lose his audience and go somewhere else, which is that can happen, right? Um, you know, he talked about in one of his recent videos, I blew up and then everybody left, you know. So he got a lot of views and then the views started to go down, right? We've all been there, you know. We've been there. You see one video hit like 3 million views, and then I wake up next week, I shoot 2 more videos. This video didn't do nothing but 20,000 views. And then I get lucky, a video do like 300,000 views, and then a video do fucking 9,000 views, and you're like, what the heck just happened? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the algorithm. Um, I would say this though, his mindset is a little scary for any normal adult, but it's also entertaining. And let me elaborate on that. As a person who's been a creator, like there's W's in situations, but it's not going in a W way all the time. Like he bought a truck, but that was a lot of, it was credit involved. It was a lot of stuff. He was living in Section 8, made enough money to where he can get a nicer place. Um, you know, I don't know if he had a kid on the way. I don't. Can't remember right now. I've been under a rock. Either way, the thing is when you are somebody who openly talks about how you did not have money for things and now you make it and you publicize how you make it. Congratulations, right? That's dope. Now, which is the dynamic that's different with channels that most people don't publicize it, right? Like nobody knew when DDG said that when he bought his i8, he only had like 60 grand. Like technically he really could not afford that car, but he went and bought it and made that. He started, excuse me, he started making money off of that, you know, going to a different place, network and taking the assets that he were using and basically catering it. The difference is that's two different audiences. That audience of people are more likely to subscribe and mess with you because you are flaunting success or flaunting wealth to a younger generation. They and most younger men are looking at you like, this is what I want, this is what I want to be. So it comes off a time of inspiration. You're going at it at a different angle. I think where London, he more of like, I'm showing you the whole process, and I'm being very open, and so because of that, people have their opinions, right? But nobody's in his shoes. I think that these are not bad things. I think where it gets a little weird is that I don't know if he know how to leverage the assets. Like when you bought the pickup truck and you're paying, I mean, the interest was damn near 20%. I felt like it was a lot of money. It was like you need to have a good month, damn near for the next 2 years, right? Like that's not guaranteed. That's just how business works. Um, so that was shit that was like, uh, I've been there. Every creator will go through it. One month you made that 20 grand. Next month you might only make 9. One month you might only make 6. Next month you might make 15. But then the next 3 months you might only make 3,000. Catch what I'm saying? And if you spending money so fast, when you talk about I need to pay this truck off fast, you're not setting yourself up for safety. I do feel like that he moved too quick. And if you were going to move that quick, you definitely moved the wrong way because you did not understand your audience. You were so in the high, and I get it. When you come from nothing, you when you get it, you're like, man, I want this. That's where consumerism, that's where capitalism grabs majority of society, right? You get money, you get that 20K. I remember I made about 25,000 on YouTube one month. Man, what money ain't here, right? What? And I was already knee deep, right? I had did more of the route of like I got the cameras, the girls, the comedy, but I never really had to show off my assets to make that money, which was where I went wrong, right? I got 2 cars, a nice apartment. I don't really need to do that. Like my content originate from that. That was a mistake I made. I could have just took Ubers and been living in a room, had $20,000, and I could have just invested that into crypto when I was trading stocks, or when I could have just put it away. I could have did a lot of things with it. I could have stayed working, um, investing on a corporate level in my life while still getting that type of money, right? There's so many things I could have did, tax benefits, there's so many knowledge I did not have. But what happens is when you go so quick into something, when you take your money and you invest so much into it, when you sign up for these loans that are technically to profit off of you, you don't give yourself time to go to the drawing board. And I think that's where he messed up. And that's why he's saying in these videos, like, I need to go back to the drawing board, or I'm figuring out how to rebrand my channel. I think he's losing sight of who his audience is and also how to grow that audience. Like what's also like gonna get him views, but at the same time, what's gonna tailor into the audience. Because you can get views, but you're not gonna get supporters. And that's a difference. Bro, real stuff. When we had about 400,000 subs, probably only 12 people bought merch. Think about that. 400,000 subscribers and only 12 people bought merch. And I'm thinking about setting up commercials. I'm thinking about doing everything, and nothing. Nothing really. I ain't gonna say nothing, but nothing really. Most of the support came from my friends that I went to high school with, you know? So it just tells you, whenever you start the seed of that plant in your channel, it's better to grow from that. If you want to build a new channel, it's better to do that on the other channel. I feel like when I saw him and when I met him, it was more of like what he wanted to do and more action. It was more of him actually doing lifestyle stuff. It was less of what I'm seeing now. It's always been an apology, or it's always been I'm talking to you guys about yada yada yada. But nothing wrong with that. Like he talked about when he made $15 at Walmart. I get it. Um, that's one of the things that I would say, because you're gonna need humbleness to really move in this game to get to those accolades. Like you have to get to a point where it's like, man, I'm not bigger than the program. And that's the reason why me being the brand, this could be what it is. You know, I know where it's like, this is where I'm at and this is where I want to go with it. I would say that another thing for me personally was the stress of I have to be on camera all the time in order to keep these assets. And I think that's a problem with most of the people that are content creating. I've heard stories all the time. Girl has a bad month, so she's on thin ice, bro. And I've been there, man. I'm talking about like, I'm about to not be able to pay my apartment, but a sponsor comes through for like 5 G's and I'm straight, right? But then I still got to scramble soon. You know, like, yes, the average person can't just make an email and get 5 grand in one day. Like, the average person can't do that. But because you are a business and you can get 5 grand, the quick way you can get 5 grand, you can lose 5 grand quick. And I think that when you have to be on camera all the time, you're not giving yourself space to go through life. If something happens, if a death happens, if something mentally happens, if you need to reset mentally, especially as a man, I don't think no one's going to really teach you how to take care of yourself. If you're not slowing down that part and being patient, you will crash and burn out. I've seen the people of the best with millions of subscribers tell me all the time they burnt out over and over, you know, and that can happen. And I think that's the thing that he has to realize. Being that husband, maybe being a father, whatever it comes to, he needs to create the safety net for himself in order for him to create it for his household. And spirit is going to talk to him. And I think it is. And I think that's what we're really seeing right now is that reality check. Like, this ain't going how I thought it would. And that's where that humbling experience comes back. Yes, it's a lesson. And even though these people are trying to tell you not to do this, you're still going to make your own decisions. But my thing is this: if you buy a nice ass truck, you get a nice ass apartment, you do these things, there's some way you have to flex that asset in the public for you to make money off of it. Majority of the time, if we're coming out and not having anything, yeah. Now, if you were a business owner, right, you get those YouTubers that have a business, they make their money without being on camera. But what they decide to do is they still go out and shoot content. You're cool, right? So it's different sides to it, you know. Um, but you put for me, I've been in that place where you put everything on YouTube. And give me 1 second. I had to get right real quick. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Um, is there anything else? I mean, I think the weird thing about this dude is like he'll get advice and he'll hear people say like, you should do this, do that, and then he'll go. Me personally, I think he'll go out and make the worst decision. So that goes back to him now saying like, I'm working these 2 jobs, and now that I'm working these 2 jobs, it's helping me, you know, be able to keep things in check and think of new ways to rebuild. But that's the problem, right? That's the problem with the pressure of being big, right? You need to offset everything. Like right now, I could be up bands right now, but I'm in this small ass room and I drive a car that's paid off. Yes, I've done shit to my car. I've put things on it, yada yada. It still needs some work. But at the end of the day, like the average person could be like, he don't got nothing. Whole time I'm up bands. And you would not know. I'm living in I could be in a room chilling. like, and then I'll be in a better place, but I have a lot more money. The problem with him, okay, let's say this. There's this guy named Antoine that I watch, Antoine Daniel. He make like 6 figures a month off of YouTube. He also does real estate. He talks about like working corporate and then doing YouTube. And now sometimes you guys seen that kind of intertwine. Not too well, sometimes well. The issue with him working 2 jobs is that he don't have any time to now process making content the right way, right? Like once you are getting that check from YouTube, once you get it, that's when you need to actually become super humble and say, I want to make sure I have enough money so I can make content full time and no matter what happens. I want to be months ahead of a situation. And I'm not saying that some can't go wrong. You could have a hospital bill, you could have this, whatever. But I think that there could have been a better approach. Like I heard him talk about he paid off all his credit cards. And the moment he paid off the credit cards, he got a car loan. Like he waited no time for the credit report to hit from what he's telling me. I don't know. I'm not in his shoes, but from what I'm being told, this is what I'm getting. Patience will be the key. And the problem is when you don't come from something from a long time, when you finally get it, you just want to feel it. You want that dopamine hit, them chemicals, right? But it's gonna put you in a spiral down the line if it don't work out. Now, like London, a lot of people could say like I wouldn't make this video if he was doing well. But the truth is, I was ready. I still would have made this video, like, cause it's too soon. If he would have blew up, I'd have been like, you got lucky. Like to be blowing up for the next 3 months, 3 years, 2 years, clean, good ad revenue, no demonetization, like not getting demonetized, you eventually pulling your first sponsors or getting sponsors, all that. Like, cool. You have a community now that supports you and they're willing to invest into you. Cool. And I think that's the caveat. People are funny with money, right? This is why a lot of creators don't do what he do. Because some people might look at that and say, I don't want to invest in that. I don't want to invest into what I would say bad decisions. I support you. I watch your videos. And by the way, that's enough support for a creator. You watch those videos and them ads are playing, he's getting paid. And you guys can see you're getting paid very well. However, when I talk about support, I'm talking about setting up GoFundMe's for certain organizations or setting up merch or setting whatever he set up. You can get a little skeptical, right? People oftentimes want to know their money's going to a good place or they're investing into a good product. That's just natural human behavior, right? That's why if it wasn't that way, I think people would go out of their way to be paying off people's bonds. So they go, no, I'm joking, that's crazy. I ain't gonna go that far. But yeah, I think homie, he's in too deep now. You know, he's in too deep now, and that kind of it's bothersome, right? Because it's like every person who wants to make it to the top makes the same mistake because they don't understand the spiritual aspect of the game first. They only think about views. They only think about what's hot. And your mentality is important. At the end of the day, the reality of what you're doing is you are filming, putting whatever you film, sending it up and putting it in front of people's faces to watch. That's the reality of it. And when you realize you got to do that consistently and life keep happening, and we all know life be life, and then life don't give a fuck what you got going on. It will hit you with sickness, but you got to go to work and pay rent. Your phone turn off. That job just fired you and you need the money. You know what I mean? That cop is harassing you and he's not one of the good cops. Now you got, you know what I mean? There's so much shit that can happen. You want to set yourself up for some grace. And I think his perspective will change over time about the bigger picture. And hopefully that will get him to the next level that he wants to see, where he has plaques, where he has a more spiritual, grounded with himself, and where he's also, like I saw too, he's not so affected by the bad comments. Like, I think being a creator is a W in most situations, because you get the opportunity. Like, the hate comes with the game, bro. I've been called the N word by I don't know how many people. I'm talking like the ER, the racist one, because I blew up picking up girls and they were predominantly white. Everybody who came up to me was like, "You like white girls? Is that your preferred type?" I'm like, "Dog, I don't have a type." Even though all the girls I've dated except for one, I dated one white girl. Most of them were either Latino or light skins. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, then I had one girl that was foreign, but for the most part, like, you would have thought like he just like white girls. Like, nah, that's cool. Let people talk, bro. That's what comes with this shit. You feel me? But that's also another reason why your relationship with God gotta come first. Like, if you can't clear out the noise, if you can't handle the heat, don't get in the game. Like, that's something I'm trying to tell. He talked about this in his video. He blocking people. He's, oh, I can't handle with the bad comments and da da da. The more viral your video get, the more bad comments you're gonna get. That's just what it is. You can't name one celebrity, one YouTuber that there's not one person in the world, shit, not even, there's 100 people in the world that got something bad to say about him. LeBron's great. You know, I'm gonna vouch for him. I'm from Ohio. Look how much hate he get. MJ gonna get hate. Presidents get hate. People that are bad, that you know are bad people, get hate and they still get love. Like, that is human nature. And I say to say this: when you getting weak spiritually and you worried about what people are saying, this guy London, and they're hating on you, or they're saying negative things, or you perceive it to be negative, it could be criticism that's productive. But if it is just pure hate, negative, envy, jealousy, bro, just know Jesus was the first person to be hated and crucified. You ain't going through nothing. There ain't no human being that is not going through anything that he ain't already went through for us. So you should already know what you in at this point. You should be grown enough to know how humans can be and how cruel it can get, but also how loving creation can be. You got to understand both sides of the spectrum in order for you to get into this game and be locked in with it. But I need homie to show me. I think London, he need to fuck with himself just a little bit more. Like, I want him to be humble, not make these, like, cause some of these moves are a little wild. I ain't gonna lie, in my opinion. I need him to also be humble, but I need him to know, like, I'm that motherfucker. Like, I run this shit. Like, I need him to have that mentality to get to where he want to go. Um, don't matter if it's true or not. It's just something to hype you up, because at the end of the day, you're the only one in the shoes. You're the one that's getting the checks. You're the one that's going through this. That's the dream that you created, and it's in too deep now to not have fun with it. It's in too deep now to be like, this is a job, or I struggle with trying to make video ideas. Like, that's what I'm saying. Create the space for yourself. There's times when I was in this YouTube shit, literally just sit down, write down ideas, sit myself down, get away from the girls. I get away from the partying. I get away from the comments, the good comments. Um, I wouldn't even go outside, because most of the time when you go outside, you go to the store, somebody's trying to holler, "Hey, what's up? I watch your videos," or "Hey, I'm trying to take a photo." Like you need that space to yourself. It can get crazy, bro. Like, but don't let it get to your head. I really do think this shit's all up to here at the end of the day. and you could do whatever you want. Like I think that's cool. Like he has followers, but he's like, I still work a job. I know a lot of creators right now, they would never get back and work at 9 to 5. They would literally die trying to get views. They would literally fuck over their people. They would cut off family. They would do all kind of grimy shit just to stay relevant. I've seen it with my own eyes. Stay you, but better decision making for London. I think that's all I gotta say. I've been wanting to make this video for a minute, but I think now is the time. So if y'all know London, what's his full YouTube name? But I keep forgetting. Dontay London, Dontay London. Y'all can send him this, or should I probably email him this? I ain't gonna lie. Just cause this channel is so small, but yeah, I think that's just where I'm at. In the meantime, no matter what, keep going. You only lose, and you only lose when you completely stop. So I like to see it, but yeah, he needs to slow it down. Not slow it down. No, I'm not gonna say that. I say he needs to be wiser and more patient on his decisions. I think he jumped too fast, too quick, and I ain't gonna lie, I hate seeing a brother get. I hate when capitalism gets him. I hate it. I see it all the time, bro. I see it all the time. And they never give time to sit on the money. They never give them time to actually think about how to invest it. They don't even give you time to look at money in a different way than you was brought up looking at it. And what do you think school was going to teach you how to look at money? You know, schools teach you X plus 2 equal Y. You know what I mean? The square root of 6. I mean, come on. So don't. But hopefully that with him being so open, that he will take some heat into some things. And no matter what he do, as long as he keep going, he'll get a fucking plaque. And if he keep going, he'll get 1 million and shit. Maybe diamond. Who knows? But yeah, that's my take on it. If I missed out anything, if y'all want to share, if y'all watch this YouTuber, I know he only got like 72,000. So a lot of y'all probably not gonna know who I'm talking about. But if you do know who I'm talking about, go ahead and give your thoughts or whatever. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm about to go finish watching Squid Game season 3 because y'all know I love Squid Games, man. I love Squid Games. Anyway, I'm out of here. Subscribe, tap the bell, and I'll catch y'all some other day for real. Peace.